Hello everyone, Denise here. So we are looking at the top of my desk. The blanket that I have made does not fit on the desk. So the blanket is the tutorial you will be learning this video. This is the Bobble and Weave blanket. I have done this blanket a few times to make sure the pattern is correct, and it is. So I'm going to show you how to do this in a different yarn. This yarn that you're looking at is Premier Frosty Roll. I used, I believe, 2 or 3 on this. I am not positive. Usually I can go by the back where I have changed color, but I'm not seeing it. I'll venture to say 2, at least 2. Plus, I'll give you the measurement on this as well. This is a very simple blanket. Stitches very simple, but if you don't like bobbles, you may not like this project, although it's very simple. Like, if you have never done it, give it a try, because I think you'll enjoy it. I do. I love bobbles personally. I love anything that is different. So I'm going to measure this and let you know what it measures. Okay, so it is 28 by almost 28 inches. So it's a decent baby blanket size, I think. I love the color change in this, even though you can tell like it's not perfectly on. It still looks good. The speckled and the variance in the yarn makes it transition a lot easier, I think, than just solid stripes. So the color I'm going to be using today is much different than this. This is a medium weight 4 yarn. I'm going to use a super bulky 6 weight. So my project's going to work up really fast. You can use any yarn and any hook that you desire, and blanket will still come out the same. I'll tell you the multiples. I just wanted to give you a look at this so that you can see how it looks worked up in Premier Yarn's Sweet Roll Frosty. This color, let me find the color for you. I will tell you the color of that. We'll probably do the border on this blanket instead of the other one I'm going to show you, because this is easier to get in the frame than the super bulky 6 will be. So I'm going to pull this out of frame. I will get the ball band to this. I still have to do the edging on it. So I'll grab the ball band and I'll show you the colorway and the specs on that yarn. This is what I had left of mine. So I'm thinking I'll weigh mine, but I was thinking I probably did 2 to 3. I'm gonna weigh it right now. So if I kept the ball bands, I would know. I never do that. I never ever do that. Okay, this is my scale. So it is 12.4 ounces. So far, the blanket weighs. If I could make it smaller, that would be awesome. I just don't think I can. I just need to fold it properly. 12.4 ounces. Each one of the Sweet Roll Frosty is 5 ounces. So we're like 2.5 right now, right? I just need to do the border. It's not going to take much more. So if you buy 3 balls of the Sweet Roll Frosty, you can have a good sized baby blanket. They are 245 yards, 224 meters, 5 ounces, 140 grams. Calls for an eye hook. It's a medium weight for machine wash warm, tumble dry normal. This yarn I love. I have quite a few of this color. This is Indigo Breeze. Fabulous yarn. Love this yarn. Use this yarn if you can. I think it's perfect for this blanket. However, I recently picked up a Caron anniversary cake, so I'm going to use it. Specs on the Caron anniversary cake it's a super bulky 6 weight. It calls for an L hook, 11 or 8 millimeter. It is 35.3 ounces, 1,000 grams, 1,061 yards, 970 meters. It's 100% acrylic. This color is called Evergreen. I only picked up one of these. I figure if it takes more than one, I'm in trouble. I won't be picking up another. If I get too close to the edge, you know, the edging, I'll just pull back a row and go from there, because the yarn is not cheap. You get a lot of yardage, and I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying I'm not buying another one. So I am going to pull some out of the end here. I'll probably just pop it on the floor because it is too large for a yarn bowl. It is way too large for my wool genie. That would be hilarious though. And get started. I'm going to use an O-Fire L hook. Whoops. I'm going to use an O-Fire L hook. Oh yeah, it comes off the floor really nice. Like it's its own container. It's perfect. This is my Diamond O-Fire 8 millimeter hook. I am an affiliate for O-Fire, so I will link that below for you. They have so many pretty hooks. In front of you over here, you can see almost every one that has been available since I've been buying them, and I do have Azalea on the way, so I will be sharing that with you soon. Okay, so we're going to start with a slip knot. So I just wrap it around my finger. I'll probably zoom in the camera for you too so you can see better. And then we're going to chain multiples of 7. So think of 7 times 2, 7 times 3. Get to your multiple as you're chaining. And once you get to your multiple of 7, we're going to add 6 at the end. So a good way to do it is just start chaining and count 7s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you decide, like if you're going to make a scarf or whatever you're going to do, is that wide enough? If that's not wide enough, keep chaining multiples of 7. So just count 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I learned this trick from, she used to be called Bob Wilson 123. I listened to her for so many years. She's a wonderful lady. Her channel is now called Crochet with Claire. Check her out. She is Australian. She's a wonderful woman. She used to do this counting by the multiples like this, and I think it's smart. And one day I was thinking I should mention her because I think it's important to mention where you are inspired from or learn things from. And so yeah, check her out. This is not wide enough for me. I am trying to hit around a nice throw size. So probably around 45 inches or so. The problem with making it blind is that I don't know how far that's going to give me in length. But I guess that's the gamble I'm going to have to take. So I'm going to shoot for a 45-inch mark with my multiple of 7. I will measure it when I'm done with my tape measure. Let you know what I chained, and then I'm going to add 6 at the end of that. So I'm going to just keep chaining, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so I have 91 on my chain. That gives me about 43 inches or so. I think that's probably good enough. I hope it's good enough. Yeah, it's one of them things where you don't know until you know. So I'm just going to go ahead and work it now. So I chained 91. Now I'm going to add 6 chains because that's how we do. Multiples of 7. Once we get our multiple of 7, we add 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Couple of things on the blanket. If you're using a smaller, lighter weight yarn will yield a smaller blanket unless you chain more at the start. So remember that. A larger or heavier weight yarn like this one will yield a larger blanket. So adjusting the amount of chains to a smaller number will help you if you don't want a very large blanket. So when I did the Colorama, the Caron Colorama bamboo, I started a blanket in that. I did 168 plus 6. It gave me a blanket that was 54 inches wide. And that Premier Yarn Sweet Roll Frosty blanket I showed you, it is about 28 by 28. And it was a foundation of 84 plus 6. So depending on the size of blanket you want and the yarn and hook that you're using, play around with the chains. Measure as you go, and then you'll know where you need to stop. I am stopping where I'm at. I added my 6, and now we're going to go on to the first row. Pattern will be available on my website once I get all this photos taken and all that good stuff. So I'm going to move the camera so it is more on my hands. Much better. Now you can see what I'm doing. Row 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook right here. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to skip 3 chains. So this one we worked into, 1, 2, 3, we're skipping those. In this one, we're going to do a single crochet. We're going to chain 3. Now we're going to skip 2. So we worked into this one, don't look at that one. Skip and skip, single crochet in the next. Chain 3. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next. Chain 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, single crochet in the next. Chain 3. Skip 3, single crochet in the next. Chain 3. Skip 2, single crochet in the next. Chain 3, skip 3, single crochet in the next. We're going to repeat that all the way down. Chain 3, skip 2, single crochet in the next. Chain 3, skip 3, single crochet in the next. And put a single crochet in your last chain. Okay, so our row 1 is a whole bunch of chaining and a whole bunch of skipping. For row 2, we're going to chain 3 and we're going to turn our work. We're going to put 4 double crochet in the first chain 3 space right here. So 4 double crochets around the chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the next chain 3 space, we're going to put a bobble because this is the bobble and weave blanket. So how we do a bobble in this pattern is we put 4 double crochets around this chain, just like we just did in that other one. 1, 2, 3, I like this green, 4, Pull up on your loop a little bit. Take your hook out. Look at your work. Count your double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put your hook in right there at the top. Put your loop back on your hook. Tighten up a little bit. Pull through that stitch. Chain 1. That is our bobble. Now we're going to put 4 double crochets in our next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do a bobble in the next chain 3 space. Looks like I only chained 2 there. That's okay. Going to do the bobble anyway. So do 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Pull up on your loop a little bit so you don't lose your stitch. Count back, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your hook in. Put your loop back on. Tighten up a bit. Pull through. Chain 1. 4 double crochets in our next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do a bobble in the next one. So 4 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull up on your loop, pull out, count back, 1, 2, 3, 4, go in that stitch, put your loop back on, tighten up a bit, pull through, chain 1. So your work is going to be 4 double crochets, bobble, 4 double crochets, bobble, 4 double crochets, bobble, all the way across the row. A tip for easier time making the project when you're going into the first row with a foundation chain. Since there's not much to hold on to, since it's the beginning of your project, I'll show you what I do to hang on to the blanket a bit. So I hold the chain. And then I work into the stitch and I keep moving around, and then I hold the base here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see where my other finger is at, way down here. It's easier if you hold on to the base of your stitches here. Once the blanket gets going, I feel like there's more to hold on to, so it's less of an issue. But I just noticed that whenever I start this, it feels so like almost sloppy because there's like nothing there except some chains. So hold on to the base of your chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4 to kind of stay in with a correct tension and whatnot. That is all I wanted to add. So I'm going to work up the rest of my row here, and I will meet you in just a moment. Okay, so once you get to the end of your row, you'll be doing 4 double crochet in your last chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put 1 double crochet in your last stitch. Okay, so that's our row 1 and that's our row 2. Now we're going to move on to row 3. Row 3 is the chaining and skipping. So chain 1, turn your work. We're going to single crochet in our first double crochet. That's the one we just did. So this chain 1 right here, same stitch or space, do a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to skip the next 4 double crochets there, and we're going to put a single crochet in between those 2 right there, right where you chained 1 on your bobble. Okay, we're going to chain 3, we're going to skip the next bobble and put a single crochet in between the 2, that 4 double crochet and the bobble. Chain 3, skip the 4 double crochet, put a single crochet in that space in between. Chain 3, skip your bobble, put a single crochet in between the 2. 2 sets of stitches. So you have your 4 double crochet and you have your bobble. When I say in between, it's right there in between. Chain 3, skip your 4 double crochet, single crochet in between. Repeat that all the way across. I'll meet up with you at the end of this row. Once you get to the end of your row 3, do not put a single crochet in between these 2, just put a single crochet in your last stitch there. Okay, now we're going to move on to row 4. Row 4, we're going to be doing the bobble and the weaving again. So we are going to chain 4 on row 4. We're going to turn our work. Every time you see your weaving down here, so to speak, your 4 double crochets, above that should be a bobble. So above your bobble here should be the 4 double crochets. Above this should be a bobble. So it will always alternate. I'll bring my other blanket in so you can take a look. So you'll know where you're at when you pick up your work. Just look at the beginning of your rows. You'll have your 4 double crochet, bobble, 4 double crochet, bobble, 4 double crochet, bobble. So if you put your work down and you're like, I don't remember where I was at, if you're not on one of the chain rows, you're either on this row or you're on this row, because it's a simple repeat for the entire pattern. So we're going to start off with a bobble. So on our row 4, we're chaining 4. That counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. We're going to bobble in this first chain 3 here. So as you know, a bobble, we're just doing 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once we get our 4 double crochets made, we're going to pull up on our loop just a little bit. We're going to find our first double crochet of our 4 and put our hook in. Put the loop back on our hook and pull through and chain 1 and put 4 double crochets in your next chain 3 space. 2, 3, and 4. See, it already feels better holding on to it now. So next we're going to do a bobble in our chain 3 space. So 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lift up on your hook a little bit so you have a bigger loop. Go into your first double crochet, put the loop back on, tighten it a bit, pull through. Chain 1, 4 double crochets. We're going to repeat that all the way across. I'll meet up with you at the end of this row and tell you how to do row 5. So wherever you see the 4 double crochets below, you know this row you have to do a bobble. It's very easy to check your work. If you end up looking like you have 2 bobbles together, you know that you have 2 4 double crochets together. I have done it, so don't put it past yourself. Always pay attention to where you're at and what you should be doing. Don't be like me and have to rip back your work. But if you do, that's okay. It's very quick to catch up. So I'm going to meet up with you at the end of this row. It will just be in just a second here. So I'll see you in a minute. Your last section should be a bobble, because last time we had a weave, so. Make sure you're chaining 1 there, and then put a double crochet in your last stitch. Okay, so we have our foundation chain, row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. Now we're going to do row 5. And after row 5, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 over and over and over until you get to the length that you want. So row 5 is another chain, single crochet and chain row. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work for row 5. We're going to put a single crochet in that first and same spot as our chain 1. We're going to chain 3. We are going to skip our bobble that we just made. We are going to single crochet in between that set of stitches and the bobble. This is just like our previous row we did this way. Chain 3, skip the 4 double crochet, single crochet in between. Gonna repeat that all the way to the end. Once we get to the end, I will talk a little bit about the pattern, and then we'll talk about the border. And like I said, I'll probably do the border on my other blanket since it is smaller, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. It's just a simple single crochet border, nothing fancy. If you want to do something fancy, go right ahead. I typically do not do fancy borders on a busy blanket. But that is just a personal preference. Your makes are specific to how you want them done. So however you want to do yours, do yours. But I will show you the simple single crochet edging. Now, if you do not like bobbles, some people hate bobbles. Some people hate anything deviated from just the normal stitches, you know. If you do not like them and you find them fussy, well, we have options for you. So I have a Wayward washcloth. It's the tutorial. You can make a blanket out of that. I will link it below. And it does not have bobbles. Just as beautiful, just with less texture. you could also do the blanket just like this, and then do a pillow out of the Wayward tutorial. Since there won't be any texture on it, it would be nicer to lay on. So I'll be right back to you. Once you get to the end of your row 5, chain 3, skipping your last bobble here, but not going in between the two. Put it in your last stitch, which would be the top of your chain 3 of your chain 4. So 3rd chain, single crochet in there. Okay, so now the repeat for the rest of the length of the blanket is row 2 through 5. So on my pattern, you will get a separate sheet in the pattern that will just have the repeat rows for you, so you don't have to carry all the pattern around. It's something that I do. I've never seen any other designer do it. It is something I decided to do because I do it. Like, I will dissect a pattern and I will print out and only keep the section that is the repeat rows. So instead of making you do that, I just do it for you. That will be in the pattern. However, and this is to help beginners, the repeat patterns will be abbreviated. So let me show you. This will be the extra page in the pattern, and you can see that it is abbreviated. So when you look at the regular pattern versus the abbreviated version, this is to help you learn the abbreviations if you are new to crocheting and reading patterns. My patterns, I like to write out almost word for word the main section, and then with this repeat, I am giving you the abbreviations so that you can get used to reading a pattern and not need to have it word for word. So as you can see, chain 3 on your row 2 on the left here is CH3. Over here you can see it's all written out. So if you need to, refer back to the main page and then just get used to the abbreviations. In the beginning of the pattern, I do give you the abbreviations and their meanings so that if that is confusing at all, you can refer back to that. We're going to go ahead and we'll do one more repeat together if I have time. If not, we'll just go as far as I can. I do have to leave and visit my mother today. So I'm going to start with our row 2. Since we just finished row 5, we are going to do repeat row 2 through 5 again. So we're going to chain 3 here. We're going to turn our work. And we're going to do 4 double crochet in our first chain 3 space. And we know that because in our previous row we have a bobble. So now we got to do our weave. So 4 double crochet. And now we're going to do a bobble because down here we have a weave. A bobble is 4 double crochets. Pull up on your loop on the last one, take your hook out, count back 1, 2, 3, 4 to your first double crochet, go in that, put the loop back on your hook, tighten up a bit, pull through, chain 1, and then do 4 double crochets. I'll meet back up with you in just a second when I get to the end of the row. double crochet in your last stitch. And then you'd move on to row 3, since we just did the repeat of row 2. Row 3, as you can see on the sheet, we chain 1 and we turn. Put a single crochet in that same stitch or space as our chain 1. And then we chain 3. We skip our first set of 4 here. Put a single crochet in between. Chain 3. Skip our bobble. Put a single crochet in between. Repeat that. I won't go through all the rows with you, but as you can see on the sheet here, our next row is row 4, and then we're going to go back to chaining 4 and doing our bobble as the first stitch, and then row 5 we go back to our single crochet row like we're on. So that is the repeat. I will meet back up with you in just a little bit with either this gorgeous blanket or my Premier Yarns Sweet Roll Frosty blanket, and I'll show you the simple single crochet border that I'm going to put on mine. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep working on this. I'll come back to you in a little bit with either that blanket or this blanket to show you the edging. So I'll see you in a minute. So as you can see, the anniversary cake is progressing very nicely. I think I have spent maybe, I don't know, an hour on it. I'm not sure. Not a long time. I just sit down and crochet for a little bit when I have a minute. So I'm going to keep working on that one. I'm going to pull in the Premier Yarns Sweet Roll Frosty blanket to show you the edging on this piece because it's done. And quite frankly, you shouldn't have to wait for the video because I need to make an entire blanket. So I'm going to pull that in. I'm going to take this one out and show you how I'm going to do the edging. So if you leave off, it doesn't matter what row you leave off on. However, if you leave off on a row that has the single crochets in it, it will be easier to keep track of your stitches on the top. That is the way I did mine anyway. So I am going to start right here in the single crochet that I just made in my last stitch. And I'm going to just turn the corner here and go this way. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So I am going to do 2 more single crochets in that same stitch. And then where it feels comfortable in the side stitches here, I am going to work a single crochet, about 2 of them in each double crochet row, making sure you're not putting too little of stitches. Make sure you're not putting too many stitches. You can count this side if you like your number and then repeat it on the other side if you want to make sure that you have the same matching stitches. I am just putting the hook in wherever it is comfortable, just making sure I don't put too many. If you put too many, you're going to get some ruffling. If you put too little, you'll get some pulling or puckering, and that doesn't look great. In each corner, put 3 single crochets, and when I get to the end down here, I'll show you what I do for the end, which would be our foundation row. So I will see you in just a minute when I get to the end here of this side. Okay, so I am to the end here and I am at the corner. I'm going to put 3 single crochets in the corner. And then as I turn here, I'm going to put a single crochet in every chain of the foundation row and in every chain that has a single crochet in it as well. So you can see, since we're upside down on the blanket, you can see a single crochet was put in that when we were working the other way. So starting off with the first one, I'm going in the chain. If you want to go around the chain, that's up to you. I just feel better going into the chain on the edge here. When I get to the other corner, I'm going to put 3 single crochets in the corner, and then I am going to go up the side of the blanket just like I did this previous side, putting stitches in where it feels good and not too many, not too little. Work my way up to the other end, and I'm going to work the other end in a very similar manner as this one. So I am going to keep working on this. Once I get to the entire other end of the blanket, I will meet back up with you and show you what I'm going to do with that end, since it's just a little bit different than this one. So keep working on yours and I'll keep working on mine, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so I am to my last corner here before the last end. I'm going to put 3 single crochets in my corner stitch. And then I'm going to mimic what I did on the other end. This end will be a little easier to go in the stitches because these are not foundation stitches. So I'm going to put 1 here just because it looks like it needs one right there. And then I'm going to put a single crochet in each chain. And in each single crochet as well. So right there. And then you'll see 3 and then a single crochet, 3 single crochet. I'm going to do it in every one of them. If you went around your chain, do the same on this end so that you're staying consistent with, you know, with what you did on the other side, so it looks uniform, I guess is the word. If you ended on a different row, like if you didn't end on your chain row, just go ahead and add stitches where you see it best fit. Say you ended on this row down here, put a single crochet in every stitch. I would probably do 1 in between each set as well, and try to even it up as much as you possibly can with your beginning edge. I will put that in my pattern though, that it's best to end on one of the rows that are single crochet chain rows. So I'm going to see you in just a minute when I am done with my single crochets. I'm at my beginning corner and it looks like I already put 3 in there, so I'm just going to slip stitch to that. See, I have 1, 2, 3 already there, so I'm just going to slip stitch to the corner here and then cut off and weave in my ends, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so you can see it only weighs just a little bit more than it did before. 12.6 ounces. So if you are using any other yarn that is a worsted weight for, like Premier Yarns, Sweet Roll, Frosty, I'll take about 2.5. So that is the final measurement on that one. I don't have my anniversary cake done yet. I may get it done, insert a picture at the end of this video, or I will share it on the community page. I would like to get it done and put it at the end of this video, so I'll probably make that a goal so that you can see it finished. I think it is absolutely stunning, the way the color changes work up in this, and this is very soft yarn. It is fun. It is so fun. I don't know about the other cakes, but I really like this. I think it's called Evergreen. I like it a lot. The colorway. Yeah, it's evergreen. So yeah, I will spread out what I can of the blanket so you can take a look at it. I will put a picture in at the end so you can see it on my coffee table and a chair we have in our living room as well. It's a wing back chair. It looks very nice on that, I think. Flip it over so you can see the bobbles. So I think any yarn that has this color change to it would be beautiful. I'm trying to think of some. I buy them all the time. Like Facets by Loops and Threads would be a great transitioning of color. Looking around behind me, a lot of the Hobby Lobby yarns would be great in this as well. The Caron cakes, those would be really nice in these. The 1-pounders, the ombres, they would be great. Honestly, I really feel like just one color would be great with this blanket too. I haven't made it up in a one color. I don't often use just one color unless it's something small or it's requested, you know. So I enjoy this pattern immensely. I love this yarn so much. Like I said, I will pop in a picture so that you can see it all laid out. I can't get it on my table, my desk in here, so I'll pop that picture in. I'll really try my best to get the Caron anniversary cake done so you can see it worked up. I'm excited to get it finished. It is a gift for somebody, so I'm excited for them to see it and let me know how they feel about it. I'm also excited to know how far that cake goes. I know Bobbles take a little bit more yarn, so you could probably stretch it even further if you weren't doing the Bobble version. But yes, take care, guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to pop some pictures in. Until next time.